Hey guys and gals, and Everett here from Drake Wing Game, and it's something about on Twitter, the Gaming Drag. Today I'm coming back at you on a Let's Play episode of What It Feels Like. Anyway, y'all, let's go ahead and jump right back in, shall we? Alarm chain, you were up, and let's go! Alrighty, y'all. Yeah, okay. Waiting outside is a real pickup truck, the kind you see in movies with a farm on it. Leaning on it are two somewhat familiar people, although where I recognize them from I can't remember. They stand up straighter once Baxter and I approach them hand in hand, and he beams at them, proudly showing me off. Hey guys, hope you didn't get too lost. Oh wow. Kind of. You really should have at least let us know it went well. I was considering just taking your stuff with me back to Pricefield. He doesn't mean that. Yeah, I do. Well, it's not like you'd never see it again, Baxter. Thanks. My phone charger's there. Just as the memory of who these two guys are starts to click in my head, Baxter beats me to the punch and introduces us. Well, since we're all here, let me introduce you guys. This is Mylo, a.k.a. Russo, a.k.a. my boyfriend. I blush heavily. It hasn't even been 24 hours and Baxter's already introducing me to his old friends. And Mylo, these are my friends from high school, Marcus and Callum. They're gay, if that wasn't plainly obvious. And you aren't? Yeah, not till now. And Callum the raccoon just chuckles and shakes his head. It's nice to finally meet you, Mylo. Considering how much I've heard from you in such little time, I was definitely looking forward to putting a face to the name. I didn't even know Baxter was into guys until way later. I was curious as to what his type of guy would be like. That, and he never seems like the boyfriend type. Oh? Yeah, he was a slut in high school. No, I wasn't! Baxter pushes my ears flat on my head, glaring at them. And here I was, excited to introduce you guys. Heh, my bad. I'm kidding. Mostly. At least he's clearly not like that anymore. You should have seen what a mess he was over you. Callum nods, a look on his face that says, "Oh, you don't even know." Baxter grumbles in the back of his throat, still trying to cover my ears, but I just laugh him off and hug his arm bashfully. Yep, he's a golden boy now, as he likes to call it. Exactly, instead of putting me down, shouldn't you two be hyping me up to my new boyfriend, as friends do? Sorry, Marcus can be a little tone-deaf when it comes to things like this. I just say how it is. You just have this weird rivalry with Bax. Give him a break, will you? Heh, fine. You're right. Baxter's a good guy. Always has been. You're lucky to be with someone as good-natured as him, Mylo. Yeah, I am. So, you guys taking a trip here to Ashland, too? Something like that. They brought me here. When I told Callum about what had happened between us, he insisted I'd come see you again. It took some convincing, but eventually I listened to him. And here we are. Yep, Cal's idea, the name of love, as he claimed. Callum, now the center of attention, fidgets in place, adjusting his glasses in a very nerdy way. Well, I just figured that this was the best option for him, and Mylo too. Didn't it work out in the end anyway? Stop staring! Huh, yeah, it did. Thanks, Callum. You did me a real solid. So, it was because of Callum's convincing I was able to see Baxter earlier than I thought. That he made that step to come and see me? I take back what I said back then. Callum and Marcus are my angels that brought Baxter back to me. Thank you, both of you. I'm really happy you did. Hey, so where's my stuff? The trunk. Come on, I hope you bring your stuff in. I want to see your apartment. Sure, just let me close the bedroom door first. Marcus and Baxter walk out of earshot, leaving Callum and I alone, awkwardly just smiling at each other. So, Baxter, huh? What do you see in him? You say that like it's a total mystery. I didn't mean it like that. Baxter's just a little different in high school, less serious, less mature. It is a bit of a mystery to me how he managed to fall so hard for you. I'm pretty curious about it. He gets this look in his eyes that tells me he'll stop at nothing to know whatever it is he's curious about. A dangerous personality trait, if you ask me. Well, I guess it was a lot of things. He's sweet, caring, he's just there for me in ways that no one else is. It's like he can see right through me. Does that make any sense? Yeah, I think it does. So, you and Marcus, childhood sweethearts I've heard? No, has Baxter mentioned us before? Just once, I saw a picture of you guys on his phone. I think it was his high school graduation. Ah, that makes sense. Yeah, Marcus and I go way back. Wow, I guess you two know each other really well then. You could say that, but we've only started dating for about 4 years, so there's still stuff to learn about each other. I see. 4 years is still a long time, and isn't Marcus in the military? Must be tough for you guys. Callum gets a dejected look on his face, nodding. Yeah, it definitely can be. But I love Marcus. I couldn't imagine loving anyone else the way I love him, so even though I miss him, I'll stay by his side. You know, I feel like I understand you pretty well, Mylo. Yeah? Yeah, Baxter told me about what went down between you two. It was interesting, to say the least. But I feel like I understood you. Pushing people away because of past experiences is something I'm guilty of, too. Sometimes it takes someone loving you in a way you didn't know was possible for you to realize that. His gaze is fixated on Baxter's bike, contemplative and reminiscent. But putting the past behind you is the only way to heal from those wounds. At least that's how it worked for me. Marcus and my friends back home, they were the ones who helped me get through all the shit that I went through. I think in the end, that's all you really need. To know that you're loved and to be willing to change. Was I being too philosophical? You must think I'm some huge nerd. Yeah, I do. Great. But I think I needed to hear that. Thanks, Callum. Sure thing, Mylo. Callum and I seem to have fallen in love with two completely different guys and lived two completely different lives, but by all accounts, I shouldn't really feel like we're similar in any way. And yet, I can't help but feel like somehow, something connects us. Something more than just our relationship with Baxter. I'm glad this nerdy raccoon was here to bring my cheetah back to me. Baxter and I wave goodbye to the couple, driving off into the streets of Ashland onto their own little adventure. I know what the future holds in store for them, but I only wonder for a moment. I've got my own future to worry about. So, Baxter pulls me into him, sliding his hands up and down my waist. What do you want to do now, Russo? We could have breakfast. Good idea. Or we could pick up where we left off last night. Great idea. It doesn't matter. As long as you're here, I don't care what we do. He grins, leaning in to kiss me, right here in front of his apartment. Somewhere in the back of my mind, it occurs to me that this is my first real kiss in broad daylight. I decide I like it. The sun feels good against me, and Baxter's warmth spreading across my own body lets me know that winter has officially come to a close. Come on, let's go inside. He smiles at me, warm and complete, and leads me back to the apartment that slowly starts to feel like home. It's an unusually hot May morning. The warmth of Baxter's leather seat between my legs, which is so inviting back in those March days, now burns in an uncomfortable way. He promised me he'd change the leather soon, but I'm not holding my breath. Well, not that it really matters. I could just use my car if I'm seriously sick of the heat. But having an excuse to hold on to Baxter and wear a cute helmet of sorts sort of cancels out the burning leather. So, the hot sun it is. My heart picks up pace as we slow down to a stop in front of the apartment complex. The building's somehow much less familiar to me in broad daylight. The colors are just off. Everything's too bright here. Baxter and I hop off his bike, and I hand him my helmet as he uses both to prop his shoulders up on, leaning on the vehicle like he always does when he's waiting for something. You gonna be okay? I could go with you. I shake my head. His expression doesn't change. No, this is something I have to take care of. I'll be back soon. Shouldn't take long at all. Okay, I'll be here. I know. I kiss him, quick and gentle. Then I turn around and make my way up the stairs. Number 7. My once holy number greets me at the door, and the memories of the endless nights of secret encounters come back to me in an instant. I realize I don't miss them. Not the slightest, not even in some dark corner of my heart. I knock on his door, and not a second later Jacob answers it, smelling strongly of shampoo. He slicks his wet hair back with his hand, looking a bit frazzled. Hey. Hi. I have your key. Right. Sorry, come in. I hesitate. I'd hoped to just hand it over and walk away, but I guess I should have known it wouldn't be that easy. I sigh and reluctantly step inside his apartment. It's mostly empty now. The little furniture it had is now gone, and set replaced with a few boxes scattered around the floor. The shades are completely gone, too. I've never seen his apartment shine this brightly before. I'd offer you a drink or somewhere to sit, but, well, you know. It's fine. His easygoing banter makes me feel uncomfortable, and it doesn't take long for him to realize that. He clears his throat, crossing his arms and leaning on a wall, letting the room fill with the familiar silence he and I are accustomed to. You doing good? Yeah, fine. He nods. Are you... He shrugs. Been busy. I can tell. Where are you moving? Back home, Tennessee. Got a job in accounting or something. I see. It occurs to me that Jacob and I have very little to talk about when the topic isn't about our romantic affairs. What exactly do we have in common? What dreams did we ever share? Maybe it's me being cynical, but right now I can't think of anything at all. Well, here. I take the key out of my pocket and step forward, holding it out for him to grab. He stares at it, long enough for it to be uncomfortable. For once, I can finally tell what he's thinking, because it's exactly what I'm thinking too. This key is the last remnant of us. After I give it back, any ties I have with him will be severed. We'll both move on with our lives in two very different directions. It's almost sad. For a split second, I think about how my life could have been different. If I had chosen to stay, where would we be? What kind of person would I have become? Alright, y'all, and I'm gonna pause it right there. I think we're probably gonna wrap up the game in the next video. Thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. I want to thank all of our lovely patrons for everything they do for the channel. We greatly appreciate your support. Anyway, I love you all, and I shall see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!